Hello everyone, welcome all the students of the 7th standard in our second lesson of history, that is India before the time of Shivaji Maharaj. In our first previous period, we have discussed about introductory part of this lesson. Most of the rulers, those who ruled our Maharashtra before the time of Shivaji Maharaj in the 12th or 15th century. That next point, that is invasion from the northwest. That inventions, those who invaded in our country from the northwest region. Local dynasties like Yadav and Rashtrakuta ruled in Maharashtra. Local dynasties like Yadav and Rashtrakutas, these dynasties, they ruled the Maharashtra, but invaders from the northwest conquered the local dynasties there were and established their own rule. But what is that? Those were the ruler from the northwest region. They came, they attacked, and they start to establish their own rule in the northwest region. In the meanwhile, Arab power had emerged in the Middle East. In meanwhile, what is that? In Arabian country, that Arab power start to be established into the Middle East part of Asia. Arab rulers turned toward India to expand their empire. Arab rulers, they saw the situation of our country and they turned their attentions, their view toward the India to expand their power, to expand their empire. The Arab general Muhammad bin Qasim attacked in the Sindh provinces in the 8th century. Arab general Muhammad bin Qasim, he invaded in our country or in India in the 8th century. See that he attacked in the Sindh provinces of our country in 8th century. Notwithstanding the resistance of King Tahir, he conquered the province of the Sindh, and there King Tahir, he was a king looking after the Sindh provinces. But what is that? He was unable to stand or to defeat to the Muhammad bin Qasim, and he conquered the Sindh provinces. Due to this campaign, the Arab came in the political contact with the Indian ruler. That so Indians also came with the political contact with the Arab. Muhammad bin Qasim, he came, he invaded, he attacked. So he came in a contact with the Indian political rulers or the powers that for the first time they came in the contact. In the period that followed, Turkish, Afghans, Mughals from the Central Asia came to India and established their own rule or the power here. So after the Muhammad bin Qasim from Arab side, Turkish peoples, Afghanis also came, Mughal from the Central Asia, they came and they start to establish their power in our country. So first of all, Muhammad bin Qasim, he came there. In the 11th century CE, the Turk began to invade India there. In the 11th century, Turkish people or the rulers, they came, they invaded in our country. They expanded their territory, reached to the northwest frontier of the India. When they came, they attacked, they conquered some part of our country, expand their powers in our country from the northwest frontier. And Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni invaded India there from the Turkish regions. Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni, he invaded in India. Many times he invaded that. He plundered the rich temples at Mathuras, Vrindavan, Kanuj, Somnath, and carried away enormous wealth with him. So Sultan Muhammad Ghazni, he came, he attacked. Uh, he attacked on India that, and after that when he came, he focused on the Indian temples which were very rich or the wealthy, that like Mathura, Vrindavan, Kanuj, Somnath, and from there huge amount of money he carried with him. That next, the Sultanate in the northern. In the year 1175 and 1178, Sultan Muhammad Ghori of Ghur from the Afghanistan invaded India. That now Muhammad Ghur from Afghanistan, Sultan Muhammad Ghur from Afghanistan, he invaded in our country, and he appointed Qutbuddin Aibak to look after the newly conquered territory. So here Muhammad Ghori appointed Qutbuddin Aibak to look after the conquered territory in India. Later, after the death of Muhammad Ghori there, Qutbuddin, Mr. Muhammad Ghori, he passed away in the year 1206. So after the death of Muhammad Ghur in the year 1206, Qutbuddin Aibak began to rule all the Indian territory which was under their control independently. He began to rule independently. What is their first thing you have to understand? Muhammad Ghori, he was a sultan of Afghanistan. He invaded in our country and he conquered some part of Indian territory. Muhammad Ghori, Sultan of Afghanistan, came in our country, attacked and conquered some of the Indian territory, and that newly conquered territory he gave to the Qutbuddin Aibak. You look after that as a guidance, as a security persons. He told to the Qutbuddin Aibak, you look after this territory, you protect this territory. But Muhammad Ghori, he was a sultan, and after that in the year 1206 Muhammad Ghori, he expired, he passed away. So after the death of Muhammad Ghori, instead of giving that region or area to their children who is coming on the power, instead of giving to them, Qutbuddin Aibak, he began to govern independently that territory, and he declared himself as a ruler. And Aibak, who was initially a slave, became the sultanate or the ruler of Delhi. Initially he was a slave, but he became the ruler. And he too also died in the year 1210. 1206, Muhammad Ghori died. 4 years he became as a sultan, and he too also died in the 1210. This is an important part that you have to understand. So next, after Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Razia, Balban, Alauddin Khalji, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Firoz Tughlaq, Ibrahim Lodi, and other sultans ruled over India. After the Qutbuddin Aibak, these other sultans, they ruled over our country. Ibrahim Lodi was the last sultan of Delhi there. He made many enemies because of his peculiar temperament. Ibrahim Lodi made many enemies because of his temperament or because of his mentality. Daulat Khan Lodi governed Punjab. Daulat Khan Lodi, he was a governor of Punjab, invaded Babur there. During the time of Ibrahim Lodi, what is that? Daulat Khan Lodi, he invited Babur there toward the India. And Daulat Khan Lodi, he was a governor of Punjab provinces, and he invited to the Babur toward the India. He wanted to rule that region, he wanted to capture that. The ruler of Kabul, Babur, he was the ruler of Kabul. He came to fight toward the India to fight against Ibrahim Lodi. He was the Sultan of Delhi, and what is there? Ibrahim Lodi, Sultan of Delhi, and Daulat Khan Lodi, he was a governor of Punjab. Means Ibrahim Lodi appointed to the Daulat Khan Lodi, you look after the Punjab provinces, but the Daulat Khan Lodi, he opposed to his own ruler only, he opposed to his own sultan, and he asked help of Babur there. He was the king of the Kabul region, that he invited him. So Babur came there and he defeated to the Ibrahim Lodi in the battle, and thus the Sultanate of Delhi came to an end, and Babur started to rule our part, that we will see afterward.